Stocks see a broad-based push higher on the back of positive global cues. FMCG, utilities and energy are the prominent gainers, while realty and healthcare are soft. Nvidia beats earnings estimates and provides an improved guidance, boosting market sentiment. CEO Jensen Huang dismisses talks of an AI bubble, pointing to strong infra build-out. The stock of India's partner, Netweb Technologies, also jumps. Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol is looking to invest in India to build a coffee culture and the value chain, even as the American chain looks to open its 500th cafe in the country. Niccol also lauds the Tata partnership for its success. Market veteran Prashant Jain says he feels the most bullish in 35 years, but Kotak Sanjeev Prasad laments India's timid 6 to 7% GDP growth. On IPOs, Jain warns that most won't meet the expectations of long-term investors. We're exactly 100 points away on the Nifty for that much-awaited all-time high. You're watching Business Lunch. We are coming to you live from the CNBC TV 18 Motilal Oswal studios. I am Hormuz Fatakia. Building on to the gains is the markets from yesterday's trading session. We did well yesterday, continue to do well today, and the Nifty currently 26,177. At the highest point of the day, exactly 100 points away from 26,277, which was the record high that it had hit on the 27th of September 2024. So good going for the index. The Nifty Bank already at record high levels, contributing to the gains in today's session as well. It's a new record for the index. 59,370 is now where the index stands, and a lot of analysts already projecting targets of close to 60,000 now for the index. The broader markets very well for themselves as well. Good going for the mid-cap index, for the small-cap index. And the Nifty contributors, the gains on the Nifty besides the banking names, is led by Reliance Industries as the top contributor to the gains on the index. In today's session was contributing more than 50 points. UBS came out with a very bullish note in today's session, so close to 2% higher on Reliance Industries. And there you can see the gulf between Reliance and the other contributors, HDFC Bank, Axis, iShares, all of them doing well for themselves in today's trading session. But just before we move on, two names not doing very well in today's session, and both of them are recent listings. Grow is one of them, was down in a 10% lower circuit in yesterday's trading session. Continues to trade lower today as well. The losses range anywhere between 7 to 8%, and in this two-day fall, the stock has dropped. Now the stock has extended its losses, now down 10%. Is Grow heading towards another lower circuit? So 20,000 crore worth of market cap gone for Grow in the last two sessions. And the other one is, of course, Physicswala. That is after a stellar listing, was down around 7-8% yesterday. Is down another 15% on last check in today's session as well. There you can see 13.5% lower on Physicswala as well. So the new listings not having a very good day, but overall a pretty good day for the market so far. Now the stock that has been in conversation for the last hour of yesterday's trade was Sammaan Capital, and that is after the company issued a clarification as the Supreme Court questioned the probe into the India Bulls housing finance case. Gaurav is here to tell us more on this. Gaurav.
Well, yes, it was not a good day for Sammaan Capital yesterday, because let me take you back in time. What happened is that in 2019, there was a PIL filed against Sammaan Capital in the Delhi High Court, and in February 2024, Delhi High Court actually dismissed the petition. Apart from that, when we look at the timeline again, in October 2024, there was an appeal made against Delhi High Court's judgment in the Supreme Court of India, and that is what is actually causing this trouble for Sammaan Capital right now. But company has made a few things very clear. First is that there is no open investigation pertaining to the allegations in the PIL against Sammaan Capital is what the company is saying. Apart from that, they say that no wrongdoings have been found against Sammaan Capital, even in the affidavits filed earlier. Third is that the Supreme Court's judgment or any comments that were given by Supreme Court were not made in the negative sense for Sammaan Capital. In fact, Supreme Court also said that we have not expressed any opinion against Sammaan Capital yesterday. And lastly, company also said that the proceedings that we are seeing right now in Supreme Court are against the erstwhile promoter Mr. Gehlot, who is now settled in London. Now, is Mr. Gehlot still a part of company? The answer is no. In 2023, company said that he has sold all the shares and he holds 0 share in company right now. And the company is professionally run company and it is not a defaulter. Apart from that, it also raised some speculation about the deal with IHL. Remember, it was going to be the biggest deal, given that they were going to invest more than 8,000 crores in the company and be the promoter. Company said that both IHC and Sammaan Capital continue to remain focused on the deal. So definitely, company is optimistic about it. And the valuation, they also seem to be in favor for the company right now at 0.6 times price to book value. And on back of that, we will be watching out on what happens in Sammaan Capital in coming days.
Gaurav, thank you for that update. Now, 1% lower for Sammaan Capital. Mind you, the stock is in the FNO ban today, so no new positions on this stock. Now, in a confirmed CNBC TV 18 news break, the Committee of Creditors for JP Associates has approved Adani Enterprises resolution plan for JP Associates. Now, Ritu is here to tell us more on this. Ritu.
Well, it is now official, and just as we've been reporting, the Adani Group has been declared the successful bidder for Jaiprakash Associates under the bankruptcy law. Adani Enterprises has notified exchanges that its resolution plan received the highest number of votes from the COC, and lenders have now issued a letter of intent to the company as well. Now, as we have been reporting, about 90% of the lenders, led by the National Asset Reconstruction Company, voted in favor of Adani's plan, and NARCL alone holds about 86% of the voting share. So its backing effectively sealed the outcome, even though a small group of lenders abstained from voting, but that didn't really have any bearing on the final outcome. Now, as to why Adani was picked despite Vedanta offering a higher sum overall, well, sources have been telling us that the higher upfront payment in the Adani proposal made all the difference, where the Adani Group had offered 13,500 crores overall, but that included 6,005 crores upfront and the rest after 2 years. So on a net present value basis, their offer was assessed at around 12,000 crore rupees. Vedanta's bid was higher in absolute terms, about 16,000 crores, but only 3,770 crores was upfront and the rest was staggered in 5 years. Now, Vedanta, we understand, did try to restructure its plan to increase the upfront portion, but the lenders and the resolution professional did not accept these changes because the Swiss challenge process had already concluded. Now, whether Vedanta chooses to challenge this outcome remains to be seen. For now, the resolution professional is going to place this resolution plan before the NCLT for the final nod. Important to note, JP Associates is facing claims of more than 57,000 crores. So even with this offer, lenders are staring at a staggering 76% haircut.
Ritu, thank you for that update there. Now, this is a liquid oxygen market. That's the word coming in from Prashant Jain of 3P Investment Managers, who told my colleague Prashant. He also commented on how flows and the IPO frenzy was not letting the market move higher. Listen in.
Last commentary, we described the current states of markets as a dialogue which is attributed to Ajit. I don't know which movie it is from. कि इसको liquid oxygen में डाल दो. Liquid इसको जीने नहीं, oxygen इसको मरने नहीं देगी और liquid इसको जीने नहीं देगा. So I think these markets are like that. The rapid demand of or flow of money to equities is not letting it go down. And the rapid supply, equally large supply of IPOs is not letting it go up. I think I feel that in majority of these issues, investors over long periods will lose money. The expectations are likely to be unmet because we are seeing many weak quality, average quality companies with suspect fundamentals or not so great fundamentals going public at crazy valuations. So I think in a lot of these issues, long-term expectations will be not met. At the same time, on the positive, I think from an economy's perspective, it is positive because all kinds of entrepreneurs, large, small, good, bad, everyone is getting lots and lots of money. Something similar has happened many times in the past. 92 was like this, 2000 was like this, 2007 was like this.
All not good examples.
So it is not happening for the first time. And I would again come back to the same thing that investors have to be very discerning in where they are participating. Long-term outcomes, I think, will be very disappointing. I feel a lot of companies will have very weak supervision over time. Because if you look at some of these companies, the Ps will sell out in next 1, 2, 3 years. The promoter stakes are split over few individuals and they are in low to mid single digits. They will also cash out. So will these companies, all of them professionally governed companies, ultimately as they turn out, will they be well managed or no? I think that is another issue that one should consider when one is participating in these markets.
That was Prashant Jain on a whole host of subjects there with regards to the markets. Now, Mahindra & Mahindra's Investor Day is underway and the company has set out ambitious growth targets. The Mahindra Group is targeting organic growth of 15 to 40% across businesses till 2030. Now, it aims to be the world's fastest growing SUV brand, the #1 LCV brand, and targets 5 times the AUM growth in lending and a turnaround in Tech Mahindra by financial year 2027. That's the Mahindra Group for you at the Investor Day. Take a short break. More news and updates on the other side. Welcome back. Now, Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol says India is one of its fastest growing markets as the company prepares to open its 500th store here in the country. In an exclusive conversation with CNBC TV 18, Niccol outlines India's growth plans, store expansions and the impact of tariffs. Mangalam is here with the highlights of this exclusive conversation. Mangalam.
Indeed, it was a written interview that Brian Niccol had given to CNBC TV 18 and spoke on a whole host of factors. Let's start with India. On India, he said that, India is one of their fastest growing international markets and they remain committed to growing their portfolio here. In fact, they're soon opening their 500th coffee house in India, which will offer their second Starbucks Reserve coffee experience in the market, catering to India's growing community of coffee enthusiasts. Over time, they will look at expanding the Reserve portfolio as well as the coffee house formats. In fact, on the partnership with the Tatas, they said that they're proud of this and, the success that they've had with the Tatas in India. It's a key partnership for them as well. Over a decade, they've closely worked with them to expand and elevate India's coffee industry and build a strong coffee culture. As they continue to grow together, the focus will be to continue to create this differentiated and elevated coffee-first experience for the customers. But more importantly, on the business front, how have US tariffs affected sourcing from India? Brian Niccol said there has been no impact. In fact, coffee in India is sourced and roasted in India, and India has a localized supply chain with most ingredients sourced from India itself. The question on what is India's role and significance in Starbucks' overall global strategy, the answer was very clear. India is a key part of their global Back to Starbucks plan, where they're here to invest, share and grow with India, building India's coffee culture for the long term. As part of this strategy, they're reaffirming their long-term commitment to the market, to the farmers, to customers, to coffee culture and to India's future. But beyond India, on China and other markets, he said that the recent made joint venture in China was about accelerating growth there and not fixing any problem there. In fact, the team in China continues to drive demand in a competitive marketplace, delivering consecutive quarters of positive comps and continued store growth. For them to succeed in each market, they must show up with their global scale and local relevancy, ensuring that every coffee house that they operate in delivers a great experience for the customers and their partners.
Interesting, Mangalam. Thank you for that update. Starbucks gearing up for its 500th store in the country. The other major talking point of the night and for the morning as well has been Nvidia. And the kind of results that the company has reported that sent the stock soaring 5% in extended trading. And of course, the results, everybody knows they were better than expectations. So was the guidance. But it'll give you a broader picture here. Now, in the first 9 months of this fiscal that Nvidia has, it has sales worth around about $150 billion. It has profitability of close to $80 billion. For the fourth quarter of this year, it is projecting sales of around $65 billion. Now, if that guidance holds, it will have a full year sales figure of over $200 billion and net profits of over $100 billion. Now, compare that, just to give you an illustration of how big Nvidia is. Now, the full first 9 months, Nvidia has a profit of $77 billion. Now compare that to the sales reported by Intel and AMD. They compare to around $57.4 billion. So Nvidia is earning more than what its closest rivals together are managing to sell. Now, the markets, of course, are also breathing a sigh of relief because of remarks made by Jensen Huang about the AI bubble, which resulted in this recent Wall Street sell-off. And he mentioned that he's heard this conversation, but from their vantage point, they see something very different. And that is when the markets are cheering those remarks. And because the CEO of the world's largest AI chip supplier is saying that all is well, the markets are taking note of it. Now, Nvidia very recently hit $5 trillion in market cap. And this journey was completed fairly quickly in just about 2.5 years. We had $2 trillion in February of 24. We hit $3 trillion in June of 24. Then we had a bit of a gap. And then in July of this year, we hit $4 trillion on Nvidia's market cap, and in just 79 trading sessions on the 29th of October, Nvidia hit $5 trillion in market cap. Now, when we hit $4 trillion, we tried to tell you what if Nvidia was a country. Today, we tell you what if Nvidia was a stock market. If that $5 trillion, there's a bit of a sell-off that Nvidia had seen before the results. So the market cap fell below 5 trillion, and even at 4.5 trillion, the Nvidia ranks only next to India, Hong Kong, Japan, and China, and of course the United States. Of course, that being an outlier, but still the 6th largest market in the world if Nvidia was a stock market. Now, another illustration of how big Nvidia is, just about 3 years ago in the 4th quarter of FY23, Nvidia had reported sales of $6.5 billion. The current quarter projections are 65 billion. That's a 10x jump in just 3 years. Now, this exponential growth has shown up in the stock price as well. Now, between 2020 and 24, the share price of Nvidia doubled or maybe even tripled in 4 of them in that 5-year period. The stock, even in this year, is more than doubled from the tariff lows that it made in April. But such was the kind of damage that was inflicted during that 1-week tariff tantrum period in April that even today, after that kind of a move, the stock is up only 35% year to date. CLSA had retained its high conviction outperform rating target of $270. Now, despite the kind of move that Nvidia has had, only one analyst out of 79 who track the company have a sell rating on the stock. Now, if CLSA's target you believe that is higher, there are targets even higher. Some of them even as high as $350 on the stock. So, in this David versus Goliath battle, the David keeps getting better and bigger. And as a result of Nvidia's earnings, all the other chip makers also rallied in after hours trading. And that is when the Nasdaq futures are also doing fairly well for themselves in today's session. Nvidia has very categorically stated that the AI boom is here to stay, and they want the largest pie of that, one chip at a time. That's Nvidia for you. Take a short break. More news and updates on the other side. Welcome back. Moving to the big political news of the day. JDU leader Nitish Kumar took oath as the Chief Minister of Bihar for the record 10th time. He is administered the oath of office and secrecy by Governor Arif Muhammad Khan at the Gandhi Maidan in Patna. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah were among the bigwigs who attended the swearing-in ceremony. Meanwhile, Samrat Chaudhary and Vijay Kumar Sinha took oath as deputy CMs for the second time in a row. The BJP emerged as the largest party with 89 seats, while the JDU won 85. The NDA's overall tally crossed the 200-seat mark in the 243-member Bihar Assembly. With that, we take your leave on this edition of Business Lunch. From me and the team, thank you for watching. Midcap radar on the other side with the Nifty still 100 points away from its record highs.